In this video, we're going to talk about two really cool functions inside of the Zones menu. All right, so this is the sample that we're going to be playing with right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's the whole thing. And I'm going to switch to gated. So I'm going to go into Zones here. And you'll see that our sample is there in zone 1, so it just plays as one sample. But if you double click the data wheel on that, we're going to play around with explode and with chop. So these are similar, but what explode does is it takes that sample and it just splits it into even segments into all of the zones. So we'll do that in a minute with something a little more melodic. But the way which chop works is that it takes that sample and it looks at all the transients in it and it splits it by the transients. So you can imagine that'd be pretty creative with a good drum loop or something with some a bunch of good glitchy drum hits. It would split it into zones. So we're going to use this on the sample, and it should take 1 through 8 when I count them into 8 equal zones. And there you go. So pretty awesome. So if you go down here to change it from gate to advance, it'll advance through all these zones. So you see it just turned off all the voltages. So it's not about voltage CV. It's about a gate just advancing each zone. So it'll sound like this. And watch the zones count here as you hear the numbers too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So for the next example, we're going to play with explode. And I think that I'm going to return to that vocal sample that we've used a few times. This one right here. All right. So one shot, it sounds like this. If you've watched this series, you know this sample well. Okay, so we're going to go to zones. And this one, there's not a lot of clear transients throughout. It's kind of one continuous sound. So I think it'd be fun to, so I'm going to double click. I think it'd be fun to use the explode option here. So we're going to explode it into 8 zones. Incidentally, you can change 8 all the way down to 2 just by rolling this encoder right here. You can choose 2 to 8 zones. So we're just going to keep it on 8, get the most out of it. So I'm going to hit explode. So there you go. So I'm going to put it on advance, just like I did with the counting one, just so we can hear it. So I'm just going to cycle through these. I'm going to put it to gated. All right. 2. Oops. Channel 3, sorry. So there's 1. 7, 8 is almost silent at the end. Pretty cool. I want to do this with another sample just because I'm curious how it might sound a little different. There's that really nice keyboard sample that we were playing with. A really nice pad. Maybe it's at the beginning here. Yeah, there was that one. Yeah, let's do it with this one. Okay, so into zones. Double click. Let's do explode. All right. And now this one, I think I'd kind of like to, I'm going to put it on random. And I'm going to send this a trigger from Euclidean circles. I think I'm going to do that. Let's pull these two out. So we're in 5, right? Right, 5 and 6. All right, and this should be kind of interesting. Okay, so it's just skipping around playing those zones randomly. You can see the random zone number happening there. Okay, so let's figure out how to open this thing up a little bit. So I'll go to envelope. It's kind of neat. I'm going to turn down Euclidean circles a little bit, give it a couple less hits. That's really neat. Now let's open up the release a little more. Mutate. There we go. So now we have these random hits. And you knew I was going to turn up effects aid, so here it comes. That's pretty cool. Okay. There is Explode and Chop. Stay tuned for the next video.